Hey guys, welcome back to Arkshow. On today's episode, we're going to be giving you a very quick run through on Tower Defense Invasion, also known as TD2. This video is probably going to be one of our quicker ones, mostly because there isn't too much of a difference between TD2 and TD1. For those of you who haven't seen it, I will put annotation links for TD1 and TD3 up, as these will all be up live at the same time. The biggest difference that I want to point out is, apart from what you would see in other ones, is you have 5 towers, but you also have these walls here. And the reason why, those walls can be really helpful because it's basically your first, system-generated line of defense. Now, the porters will be able to spawn past the walls, as will the leech infections, those things that spawn on the tower and start sucking the energy from it. But it's funny because with those walls, really good teams can hold their own and go to get to the 4th and 5th and sometimes even final wave without those walls getting knocked down. But it's kind of like a set of dominoes. Once that first one falls, basically, long story short, if your team doesn't have its shit together, things fall pretty quickly. One falls, all of a sudden they're spawning in 2 different areas, everybody's crowded at one, it's just a whole bunch of bad news bears. You want to try to be spread out. As you see, Drankz here is kind of doing some crystal hunting, so when that first line does fall, that second one, he's bouncing between those 2 jumpers. He can get to and from those first and second walls pretty quick, to at least put up a burst barrier or health, or try to defend it in some sort of manner until other people can get there and help them out.
If you're crystal farming, stay in the back, or in the second to back. You don't want to be crystal farming with more than one person in an area, because then you're competing, and if you've watched any of the other videos before this one, you know that competing for crystals is not beneficial to the group. So if you are crystal farming, stay in the back until there's a point where you no longer need to crystal farm. Some people would argue that you don't even need to crystal farm in TD2. It's almost rare that we ever get to 5,000 in TD2 by the time the last wave comes. TD2 is the shortest of the tower defenses I've noticed. That might not necessarily be true in all instances, but from how I've ran it, it's always the shortest, and getting 3 runs in a half hour is not unheard of, sometimes even 4. So you don't need to necessarily farm crystals. If you have enough crystals to just kill a couple towers and get a turret, or maybe 2 turrets out, that's good. I've actually never seen the particle cannon get released on TD2. And if you're still farming crystals in the final wave, you're not helping anybody anyways. So, one of the ways to do this is just to stay in the front and make sure no one breaks the wall. The hardest part is making sure that Turtle Monster's Shrouded doesn't get the wall down. He's pretty good at that. When Ragni spawns, he can just jump over the wall, if I'm not mistaken. So at that point, the wall is probably going to be broken anyways. And then, just farm enough crystals so that you get the turret up and you can heal and use some burst barriers. It's not very important to get crystals in this one, but they are necessary to an extent. But if you are crystal farming, stay in the back. If there's someone already in the back doing a great job, go up to the second layer, and then 2 people on each side of the second layer can crystal farm. Other than that, defend bases.
Kill shit, don't die.
Kill shit, don't die. TD2 is not too different from TD1. A lot of people don't understand how it works for some reason. But it's definitely not hard or difficult in any way.
And if you can stay spread out in that front line of defense for that first wall, and have a good cluster on the left, good cluster on the right, those are your main 2 spawn points when the walls are still up. So, I lost my train of thought. Hey, there's that particle cannon.
Whoa. Alright, so disregard anything I said about that.
Yeah, he's never seen that, even though he recorded it. Lol. That's awkward.
Apparently, that does happen, but it happens very seldom, and I actually forgot that happened. So, don't be concerned if you don't get a particle cannon. Hopefully in your group that's good enough to not even care about that. Then it looks like time is up. We did want to keep this episode short, so I'm going to give it back to Idola.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. More stuff like this, and not just DQs, plenty of other content to come. So until next time, thanks for watching Arkshow. Peace.